So Far, coming out September 30th. Now, obviously, there's been speculation and rumors and all this kind of stuff about the title, because it does kind of conjure thoughts of, is this the Slipknot's last final album? Where's the title come from? What is the sort of idea behind it?
That's definitely I'm probably the worst person to ask that question to, but Corey's definitely stated live many times that it's definitely not the end. The way I like to see it is there's the end. If you just get rid of that part, it says so far. And as long as you listen to the so far part, then you're all good.
There you go. That puts that rumor down to rest. Then, I have had a chance to listen to the album earlier today, a preview of it, and I've been a long time fan, going all the way back to the first album, and it's really interesting to see the evolution of the sound of the band. And this album is no different. It's very different, very varied, and very sort of stylistically creative. What was the sort of aim and the goal going into this recording and the writing process? What was basically the end goal of what you guys wanted to achieve with these new songs?
I mean, I don't think there was a goal set out to have like, this is where we want it to be. This is how we need this album to sound. Everything started off either me here, Clown, or Jim. And we were all in, we're all in different parts of the world, and we're all trying to do our thing, and no one really was like, right, we've got to write a new record. And once we got together, and I came over to the States, to Iowa, to Clowns, and we was like listening to what everyone had been doing, and we started piecing things together. I think that's the point where we just realized, right, we're onto something here. And the more we worked on it, and the more we added to it, that's when the album really started to come to light. And I think what we've ended up with is something, with everybody's input and with everybody's expertise, has turned it into what it is. And I think looking back at previous records, it's a natural progression of what we were doing and to what this is now. And so, yeah, I don't think we sat around going, right, this is how we're going to make this record sound.
Yeah.
I think it just came out from what we've done previously, and this is just it. I'm now into this part of my life. This is where I'm at, and that's what we've come up with.
Yeah, but I still think it'll also kind of surprise and shock maybe a few of the older fans as well, because there is a lot of different stuff and a lot of the sort of melodic kind of stuff as well. But I think anyone who really knows Slipknot will kind of expect a little bit of that as well, especially with the last couple of records that kind of incorporate a lot of those elements and stuff. How did you personally approach this as far as the bass and things like that? What did you sort of bring in terms of the creative aspect?
So I started off with I come from a classical guitar background, so I play a lot of guitar and into a lot of metal. So when I demo and stuff like that, I normally start with a guitar riff, and then I'll add program drums, then I'll add bass. And so what I was trying to do from previous records, like songs like Nero Forte that me and Clown did, we were trying to then, I think I was, on that same sort of kick. Coming over to this, it was, I turned up with polished demo format of just me, guitar, bass, drums. And I was just trying to push more rhythmically like previous records, looking into the way that the drums would work, or the way that the rhythm section would work, say with percussion, but also adding more of a modern feel to it, with using more not techier aspects, but progressive, to try and push those type of boundaries a little bit. And I think once we all got together, and then everybody else's collective input, and you do that with it, you smash it together, that's where the Slipknot sound starts to come. And but when you think more melodically, say if I in Finale or something like that, the way that I would have a part, and then I'd be like to Mike Pfaff or the Tortilla Man, I'd be like, can you help me with this harmony here? What do you think we should do? And then that song evolving, and then a guitar coming onto it, and then turning it somewhere else, and then all of a sudden Corey's vocal hearing it, and then him working off of that. It was that kind of way. It was that kind of forward thinking of how the album kind of really came about. You know, it was like building blocks, and you know, it turned into what it is. And there was no like, it's got to sound like that off the first record or that kind of thinking. So
yeah. And was that like that on the last couple of records as well? Like that sort of creative process, was it largely the same thing, or?
Yeah, especially towards the end of We're Not Your Kind, like we'd be in the studio, and we had like a separate room where like Clown had a lot of you know, the synths and percussion and stuff like that in there, and we would try melodies, or we would try a lot like Insert Coin and stuff like that. All came from that room of just either me sitting on the piano messing around, or Clown having a melody, or someone whistling down a mic, or you know, and that kind of experimentation has definitely moved over to where we're at now, and also and almost evolved, you know. So songs like Adderall, you know, that's just layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of you know, I mean, that song started off as just a vocal, vocals, keys, and a bit of electronic beats, but not even a beat. It was very, you know, it's almost two songs completely different, but it was the same vocal. And then that just added bass to it, then guitar, and then, you know, and it just turned it into a different song. And then once you add that beat to it, it just took it to another place, you know.
Speaking of that song, the opening track, Adderall, is a very interesting song, and I like it because it's very different as well. But like, why did you guys decide to use that as the opening track for the album?
I feel like it's just the way that the songs, that the album starts with that, and then finale, and then you've just got all of that in between. I don't know. I just think it's just the way that flows. It really. I think that a lot of bands nowadays tend to just put 1 to 6 to 7, just, and then if they do anything melodic, it's just stuck at the end, and people just and it just becomes an afterthought. And I think Adderall is probably one of the strongest songs on the record. Why not stick it number 1? You know. So
yeah. And what about the feedback from the fans so far on the singles that has been released? Because again, I when I listen to the album, the singles that have been released, I kind of feel doesn't represent the entire album, because there's a lot of other different stuff that's happening on that record as well. But what sort of feedback have you been getting so far?
No, I mean, like the songs, we're playing Chapel Town, playing Dying Song live. I think they're just, you know, just seeing the crowd. I mean, Dying Song especially in Europe, when we just started playing it live, and the kids have just been, you know, they're loving it, and watching people already singing along and stuff like that. It just felt like it just fitted so well into our set at the moment. So, and that's the beautiful thing about the record, is that when it is time for it to come out and people do sit down and listen to it from start to finish, they'll see what we're going for. And, you know, if you want to listen to Hive Mind, or, you know, their songs which are like super going for it, but there's just everything in there, and I love the fact that that's how that the album's been put out. You know, it's a good flow to it. So
it sounds like the track order for this was quite important. How much sort of thought did you actually put into the sort of running order of the tracks?
So the track order was something done by Clown. And when I got the track order, was completely different. It was just from studio, of maybe say it was even like monitor mixes or something like that. So I only ever listened to it in a certain order, and it wasn't until I saw you know, I got an email with this is how the album's going to be, blah 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 blah, and I was just like, oh shit, I'm going to go listen to it like that. And then once I listened to it, I was just like, wow. So as for input, that's definitely a Clown decision, and I think what he did was definitely artistically the best way of putting it. So
yeah,
it definitely worked out well.
Yeah, definitely. Now that you're talking about the live shows, you've already been doing some shows as well, and then you're heading back out on the road again for next week. What does it feel like to go back on the road again after, I guess, the last couple of years? It's been sort of different, I guess, for the world. So how's it
Yeah,
been back?
no, it's been amazing. Europe really was the big one, because I think with there being so many different countries and so many different ways of dealing with what happened in the world, we thought that that was going to be probably maybe the hardest one, because if you're just in America and you're just touring around, there's this one set of rules that goes for everyone. That's how it's going to be. But no, it seemed as like, if anything, it was way bigger expectation. Like, it was just wow. I mean, when we played Wacken and festivals like that, it was just nuts just to see how many people were just going crazy. It was like pits
Yeah,
everywhere. But in your brain, you're just like, oh, is everyone just going to be like that and not do any, because no one wants to get
yeah.
sick again. So
Well, yeah,
it
true.
was, it was great to see everyone just like back to normal, but if not, even more crazier. So
Yeah.
yeah, good to see.
Now, obviously, I've got to ask you about Australia because I know you were supposed to be here in 2019 with Metallica, and obviously that got cancelled for personal reasons. But is there already talk of you guys maybe coming back down here on your own tour?
I mean, we're always talking about when we're going to next do stuff. Obviously, the Metallica thing, I was a really looking forward to that. But no, it's like I said, with the whole kind of, how different countries are dealing with certain things. I think logistically, to try and move Slipknot, because it's not just 9 dudes and a couple of guitars. It's a huge, it's almost like a traveling
Yeah,
circus.
yeah,
So I think once we can if we're playing Japan, then we're gonna tag stuff on. We can't just go to Japan and then just go back again. So
yeah.
I feel like it's definitely always, without giving anything away or saying anything, because I don't know yet. we're, happily want to, really want to be back there. So
Yeah,
hopefully we can do
definitely.
it sooner than later. So,
Oh, hopefully we'll see you sooner than later. But
yeah,
congratulations on the new album, man. And
cool.
look,
Thank you very
thanks for your
much.
time. It's really appreciated. So I know you've been
No,
busy,
no,
so I'll let you go. But yeah,
no,
thanks for
all
the
good.
chat.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, man.